and roll from here. So I am joined again by I don't know how many times you've been on the podcast now, so I won't count it, but you're almost a co-host. We have some news to share with the community that you have teased out, and here it is. And we're going to publish this live on the 10th, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So I think, first of all, I'll start off by saying, I did give a heads up about this just now to the Everesting Facebook group. We've got a little kind of a closed user group. You can request to join. It's a lot of fun, great community. There's about 6,000 people in there. And with these sorts of things, I always like to kind of give a bit of a heads up there first. So yeah, I just dropped it there. There's been a lot of interest in this, and which is great to hear, because I'm very excited about this. This is probably the thing I've been looking forward to the most for 2023, and it's been a long time in development. But the reason, and you and I have talked about this quietly in the background, but the reason why I'm so excited about it is because there's a couple of new elements that it brings to Everesting that just haven't existed before. So yeah, I'm really pumped about it.
Yeah, and it's really two different sets of news that you have to share, right?
Oh yeah, there's two different sets of news. Maybe if I start by talking about the event itself, and then packaged within that are some of the other changes that are coming to Everesting, which has got me pretty pumped. So yeah, the event is called the Haute Route vEveresting Challenge, and it's taking place between the 17th and the 19th of February. And what it is, it's a completely free online event that we're running, like a vEveresting. So we're partnered with Haute Route. So obviously a name that is very well known in the cycling climbing community. These guys run the most incredible events all over the world. And we're talking like the Dolomites and the Pyrenees and the Alps. And these are the multiple day kind of race / challenge events where you're riding for 7 days in a row and just covering incredible ground. And they do such an amazing job. And I guess I've kind of been following the Haute Route guys for years and years, and just like talk about bucket lists. Their events have been on my bucket list forever. And so we've sort of been chatting with them back and forwards in the background, just because, you know, like Everesting, Haute Route just loves climbing challenges. And we always sort of said, oh, it'd be great if we could do something together. And this is where we're at today. So timed for the Northern Hemisphere winter in the middle of February, we've decided to run this virtual Everesting event. But we sort of thought, like, what can we do that's different and that kind of that showcases something different for Everesting, that showcases to our community how cool these Haute Route events actually are. So what we've decided to do is we've partnered with FulGaz, and FulGaz is a virtual online cycling training program. But the difference with FulGaz is that it's kind of like HD 4K actual video content that you see. And then there's like kind of augmented reality that comes into that. So for example, you'll see in our promos that come out around this, you'll see that you're riding along in this beautiful actual video of climbing the Galibier or whatever it might be, and you'll then see Everesting banners going past and Haute Route banners, as you hit certain stages of this challenge. So it's really kind of cool, and so yeah, I'm excited about that. But I think the reason why I'm kind of most excited about this event is because we're doing something quite different. So Everesting has always been, and will always be, about climbing repeats of one hill over and over again. So you pick any hill anywhere in the world and you just ride up and down that one segment over and over until you climb the equivalent height of Mount Everest. With this event, we thought, like, here's this opportunity. Haute Route is just known for, like I said, Pyrenees, Dolomites, Alps, and other places around the world, just incredible, amazing locations. So why don't we do kind of like a best of the Haute Route, and we'll take you not only just doing repeats of one hill, but there'll actually be repeats of, there'll be 8 different mountains in a row that you can ride as part of this event. So it's got like the Col de Galibier, and it's got the Stelvio, and it's got Alpe d'Huez, and it's got Mont Ventoux, as well as a whole bunch of other like really iconic climbs. So there's no descents, there's no repeats. You're just riding one banger after the other, which in full 4K HD is pretty cool and pretty impressive. It's going to be a lot of fun.
So those climbs cumulatively will total an Everesting.
Yeah, absolutely correct. Yep. So one after the other, and as you're going, we'll talk about it in a little bit, but we've got different stages that you can kind of get to, whether you want to do a full Everesting or a lesser amount, and you'll see gantries that you go through when you hit those certain stages as well. So I did mention it's completely free. So that's one thing that's, Everesting is always a free thing, and wherever possible, when we do these sorts of events, we love, if possible, to make them kind of low cost or free. So thanks to the really good dudes at FulGaz, they've agreed to. We've got like about a 50-day trial, and in fact, I think I registered mine the other day and it was like 55 days long or something. So the idea is the event itself is in February, 17th and 19th of February, but you can jump on now. You can start checking out FulGaz. You can train on it. There's training rides that are happening every week where we can get our community together and kind of train up for this event. But then you've got access all the way to the event itself. And then if you really enjoyed it, you can kind of play around with it for a little bit longer after that as well. So that's kind of cool. Of course, people always love collecting stuff. Whenever I run any new Everesting challenge, everyone's like, what do I get? What do I get? So of course, you'll get your name entered in the Everesting Hall of Fame, depending on what distance or elevation you decide to go for. Of course, you get your name in the Everesting Hall of Fame. But we also are doing a really cool cloth roundel, commemorative roundel exclusive to this event. It's the only way that you'll get it. Again, it's completely free. You complete one of those challenge tiers, and we'll send one out to you. So straight out to your address. So not only do you get the name in the digital Everesting Hall of Fame, but you get this cool commemorative cloth roundel as well off the back of that, which is pretty cool.
Okay, so then from a technical side of things, because people who do things like Everesting care about stuff, is this going to qualify as a vEveresting?
Yes, this is a virtual Everesting.
Rome. Okay, so
yep.
It would be, so there is an asterisk because it's not repeats in that sense.
There's no asterisk because you'll still be climbing the equivalent height of Mount Everest. I guess the difference between doing it at this event and on another platform is it's going to be a little bit harder because there's no descents at all. Right. You're on the Stelvio, and then you're straight on Galibier, and then you're straight on Alpe d'Huez, and then you're straight on Ventoux, and it's just banger after banger of some of the most iconic climbs in the world, and the climbs that are part of Haute Route events as well. That you're riding in this full K video. It's really, really cool. It's great.
I'm speaking for, I think, probably a large portion of people who've done vEverestings. It's usually accomplished on Alpe d'Huez. I think is probably where it's happened most times.
That's right. Yeah. So
the only thing that's really going to change is you're going to miss that 10 or 11 minute descent time, right?
Yeah, exactly. But instead of Alpe d'Huez, you'll be riding the actual Alpe d'Huez. So yeah. So, I didn't call it Alpe d'Huez, did I? I hope I didn't. So Alpe d'Huez is.
No, you did say Alpe d'Huez. So as you go from one climb to another, you'll just go through like a banner or something, and then you're transported to the base.
And then you're teleported to the bottom of the next one. So you've got to check out some of the in-game footage or in whatever you call it, in training platform footage from it, because it's really, really cool. Like it's the videos are really amazing and it's so immersive. Like I definitely recommend if you do this, if you can set it up in your pain cave or whatever, try and get a bigger TV or a big monitor for it. Crank up the definition on it because it's really cool. Turn up the sounds. You can hear, whether it's other cyclists around you or people walking on the side of the road or just the sound of the wind or anything. It's really, really cool. These are good events.
Okay, great. So boy, this is leading me to all kinds of questions. Is it live like other virtual cycling platforms where there are other people riding around you, or are you in your own version of the world? Yeah,
so we've similar to how we've set up virtual Everesting events in the past. We've got a kind of a window that we've recommended. So it's like from the 17th till the 19th of February. So you can complete your challenge anytime during that, whatever fits with your life. But during that time, you'll see other people online. So I guess different to other platforms like Zwift or Ruvio, for example, you don't see other avatars on the road, but you will see a list of who else is climbing at the same time. if you're interested, like it's not a motivator for me, but if you're interested in times and everything, you'll be able to see the times of how quickly everyone completed each of the different mountains, if that's kind of your shtick. But then the other thing we thought we'd do this year that's a little bit different is we've set up a Discord group. So, if you are online and you're riding, you can just jump into that Discord. For those of you not familiar, it's basically kind of like a way you can connect to community, but it's really great for kind of doing live chats with people. So you're not going to have to type anything in, which is a little bit difficult when you're kind of pumping your way up Mont Ventoux, but you can just chat away. And so anyone that's live on at that time, you can kind of join the community there as well. And we've opened up that Discord. It's available, from today. So you can jump on there now, and you might be talking about training tips or asking for advice for the event or whatever it might be. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So I guess that's a slightly different way of kind of joining that community live.
Okay. And then when somebody logs into FulGaz, are they going to see an option to like join this challenge?
Yeah, that's right. So what we'll do is on the Everesting site, when this is launched, you'll see a big banner pointing in the right direction, or you can head to our Facebook or Instagram page. You're going to see plenty of information pointing you to the right place. You can head to FulGaz, and they've got info pointing you to this particular Haute Route vEveresting challenge. We'll make it pretty easy. Even on our Strava club, like the Hells 500 Strava club, will point you there. So basically anywhere where we've got contact with our community at the moment, we'll make sure we point you to the right place. FulGaz have set up a full landing page, which has all the information about the event, all the rules, which obviously anyone listening to this podcast, they're going to be very familiar with those rules. It's the same as the Everesting rules in the past. It'll have information on the training rides. So again, like I mentioned those training rides, but they're really cool. So every Thursday at a set time, we're going to do a training ride as a community. Make sure you join in, check it out. Like I said, it's all free with your access through FulGaz. And there's some really fun climbs, anywhere from kind of like, I think it's about 35, 40 minutes through to about an hour each time. And just an opportunity to kind of, again, jump on that Discord, have a chat to people, ride with some fellow Everesters. Yeah, they should be a lot of fun.
Okay, awesome. That sounds incredible. And then the challenge is to ride your Everesting within that period of time between the 17th and 19th. However, conventional Everesting rules would apply, right? So it's not to complete it, the full Everesting within those.
Yeah, that's right. And now is probably a good time to talk about like the other juicy thing that we wanted to talk about, which you and I have been talking about for a long time, and you have been hassling me forever to talk about this component. And so, we're really excited with this event. Again, we wanted to do something a little bit different. I've always been about inclusivity, which sounds funny to some people maybe listening to this, because they're like, oh, hang on, how can Everesting be inclusive? But I've been involved in cycling events for the last more than a decade, both physical events and online events. And wherever possible, I always try to think about how we can make things a little bit more inclusive. And our goal has always been to get more cyclists interested in the particular niche in cycling of kind of climbing and endurance climbing and things like that. So, a couple of years ago, we introduced Base Camp Everesting, which was a half Everesting, and it kind of had two purposes. One was to act as a stepping stone for people, so to introduce them to Everesting, to introduce them to our incredible community, and to kind of whet the appetite for an actual Everesting, because an Everesting is so daunting. And ever since launching that, it's definitely had its desired effect. And people talk to me all the time about the fact that they'd heard about Everesting, they were inspired by it, but they were terrified by it. And through the base camp, they were able to check it out and, do a ride that goes for whatever it is, 10, 12 hours, complete a base camp Everesting, get a feel for it and go, oh, actually, now that I'm part of the community and I can see the resources and I've got great people that I can chat to, I can actually plan on doing a full Everesting. And the amount of times people come to me and say, like, without that half Everesting, I never would have taken that step to do a full. It's just like I've lost count, right? So it's been really fantastic adding that base camp, but I've always kind of had it in my mind. Oh, sorry, I should mention the second thing that's really cool about base camp, and that's that for some people, Everesting is that final goal, or other people, it's 10K. I could never do it, but even these double and triple Everestings, et cetera, like, that's for everyone's got kind of a different final goal that they're kind of working toward. But it's been really pleasing to see the amount of people that for them, like that base camp, that's their ultimate goal. And that is stretching themselves beyond what they ever thought was possible. And to think that we're able to do that and offer that experience to people, I don't care whether it's an Everesting or half Everesting or whatever. I just think that's incredibly powerful to push people to do something harder than they've ever done in their life. And that to me is like box ticked. So, anyway, you can probably see where I'm going with this, but at this Haute Route vEveresting event in February, we're going to launch a quarter Everesting. So 2212 meters, you can work out what that is in feet. And again, like the idea behind this is it's a stepping stone. It's an introduction to the Everesting community. And it's a way of kind of getting to kind of, getting people who potentially wouldn't ever attempt a base camp or a full Everesting to kind of come in and check out our community and see that actually if I can do a quarter Everesting, maybe I know what it will take then to do a half, and then who knows, maybe down the track they're able to achieve a full Everesting. So I'm really excited about this, just because I think we've got the most incredible and unique community in the world with Everesting. Some of the most knowledgeable and inspiring people, because I've been doing this Everesting caper for nearly 10 years. In fact, I think around that event weekend, by chance, that's going to be 10 years of Everesting. And the reason why I keep on doing it and why I'm involved is just because I'm inspired every single weekend or every single week when I open up those submissions and see your stories and see how it's challenged people and changed their lives, and the amazing experiences and the hardship that they've gone through to get there. That inspires me, and that's the reason why I'm still doing this, because of this community. So I want more people to see that and to experience it and to kind of get that same kick that everyone that's in our Hall of Fame has experienced so far. So yeah, I'm pumped about it. So just to kind of too long didn't read recap. So yeah, the event's the 17th to 19th of February. It's not going to be repeats of the same hill. You're going to get the most amazing spread of iconic climbs from Haute Route events that you'll be able to complete as part of this challenge. It's completely free. It's on FulGaz. You're going to get a cloth roundel sent to you, as well as your listing in the Hall of Fame. And for the first time ever, we're going to launch a quarter Everesting for the community as well. So you could do a quarter, a half, or a full Everesting as part of this event. So many.
And the quarter Everest is going to be something that now carries on, though. This is
that's right.
Here, now going to exist.
Definitely. After we're through that event, then we'll open it up. We ask a little bit of patience. Yes, we'll be looking at retroactive quarter Everestings. Don't send them through before February, because we're not going to approve it. But after February, we're going to be set up for that. We're actually going to be reaching out to a few people from the Everesting community to assist with the approvals of quarter Everesting. Again, wherever possible, we try to do things using the community, because it is an incredible community. So if that's you, make sure you head along to that Facebook Everesting page. Request access if you're not in there already. I'll be dropping some requests for that in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, like absolutely, from that February date onwards, we'll be opening up quarter Everesting to everyone. So start planning as well. Like, you might have a climb in your mind that is so ridiculous, it's so steep or whatever, that even a half Everesting is not possible. But you could probably squeeze for 2,000 meters. So
here's what I think is really interesting about the quarter is that it opens up hill possibilities in a totally different way. So in some ways, yes, you can go with a really steep hill, and then you could do a quarter Everesting in what you might feel like is really quick time, especially might extrapolate times 4 for an Everesting.
Yeah.
But I also view it as opening up hills that are not as steep.
Correct.
So if you're open to longer rides, but you want to have a goal, you like submitting something to the Hall of Fame, if you're a good climber, this opens up 3% and 4% grades, stuff that you would never consider doing an Everesting on because it would take way too long. But if you have a beautiful spot and a beautiful climb, it's a really cool and sort of perfect way to open it up. also, I think you make an awesome point about community to be brought into it in some way is hugely inspiring, because you're going to find all kinds of really, really cool people, and helpful, like beyond belief, that people need to experience our Facebook group, realize that, like, but everybody is cheering for everybody. It's the best community. There's loads of people who've never climbed anywhere near 2,000 meters in a day, right? I'm sure there's lots of people. So that represents a really big challenge, I think, for plenty of cyclists.
It's exciting because I've talked about it within my little inner circle, and a lot of these are buddies that are kind of they're cyclists, but they definitely wouldn't identify as hill climbers. And having known me for this entire time, they've told me they'll never ever touch Everesting with a 40-foot pole. But for them, they're also talking about potentially doing this, or for me, like, it opens up the idea of maybe being able to get at least some way of getting a run Everesting on the board, albeit a quarter Everesting. But that's great. Like, I've always wanted to do that, and maybe I'll end up getting there, but like, even a half is just too much of an unknown for me. So I can, work my way into the quarter, see if it's something that's going to work for me, and then eventually do, a bigger run Everesting as well. Look, there's something you said, and I think it's because maybe we've known each other for years now, Pete, but like, you talk about I love that you straight away went to, what about the hill possibilities that this opens up? Because the one thing that's amazing about Everesting, aside from the community, is the fact that it really is, it's like a sandbox. We give you the most basic of kind of parameters to complete this challenge by. But it was very intentionally set up this way that people can kind of take it in new and interesting directions. And if it was so constraining with the way that Everesting was set up, we never would have seen, a track bike Everesting, a brakeless track bike Everesting, or someone doing it on a unicycle, or a wheelie Everesting. It's just crazy. Or doubles or triples, or whoever thought that a quadruple Everesting was even possible, So again, like, I'm excited because I can see what this framework for a quarter Everesting can potentially bring, and I'm so stoked to hear that you straight away go to hill differences, because that's where my mind goes as well. But I'm just excited to see where the community takes this. I think it's going to be in some really interesting different directions that we just hadn't considered before.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Everesting attracts endurance junkies, of course, but it also attracts creative people. Yeah. I think it really does, because it's here's the rules, but it's not here's the race. So it's a very different thing than traveling to an event and following a route with markers and doing something like that. It's like you build it yourself, right?
And okay, so to be clear, what's going to happen with the quarter Everesting badge once we do launch it, at this event? So moving forward from February, similar to the base camp, you're not automatically going to get it. You have to go out and specifically hunt this one. So if you do a higher elevation, that's going to be your Everesting or your base camp, but that doesn't automatically qualify for this. You need to do a specific ride for this. And if anyone's there thinking, quarter Everesting, are you serious, Andy? Like, I've done a full Everesting, I've done a 10K, I've done a roam, whatever it might be. Let me throw a challenge out to you. Make it weird. Get weird with it. So have you done one on a mountain bike yet? Do a single track mountain bike quarter Everesting. Show me that. You haven't done a run one yet? Go and do a run one in some stairs. You haven't, go and do it on a fixie or something. Like, I want to throw that out as a challenge to people. But like, okay, if you're unsure about this, then make it hard. That's what Hell's 500 and Everesting has always been about. If you're questioning something, make it harder. It's simple.
Totally. Like, do it over 200 kilometers.
Exactly.
Right? A long, shallow mountain pass.
Yeah.
We'll see some of this stuff, and I'm with you. I guarantee if I did a run quarter Everesting, I would be trashed. Probably. So
yeah, I think that's the one thing I've got to, like, I just need to get that little run badge some way. I know quarter is like going to be just the entryway into it. I kind of hope that it'll inspire, or it'll show me that I can potentially push for a base camp run Everesting, and just like, again, badge hunting. I need to tick those off.
That's what, well, exactly. I mean, this, when we speak about creativity, like obviously this all started with you viewing cycling in a creative way, where it needed to be something more than a ride, where it needed to be about community and maps and boxes to check, right? Like it became the thing, and it must be really interesting to see how not alone you were in that desire, right?
Yeah, and it was not alone in a very small and weird little group that got a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. And the more that I think it's just one of those things, like once, there's a lot of people actually that don't realize they're Everesters until they're exposed to the community. And then they're like, oh, these are my people. This is who I've, and like I said before, I'm inspired by this group every single day. Like it's incredible. I love to hear, the stories of like what Jack's doing with the 1,000,000 meters that he ticked off. Like what an incredible goal to tick off. Like one of the hardest things that's out there. And there's other similar Everesters that are doing amazing big things or unique things, whatever it might be. Like it's cool to see that inspiration.
Being around it is, even when we discussed me hosting this podcast, I knew it was going to be just a huge ego check, because it's so around some of the people that are exposed to with this.
Ego check. This is like what I get on a daily basis. Like my riding is certainly nothing compared to what it used to be. And even if I was to compare it at my peak, there'd be an ego check on that every single day. But that's the cool thing about it. Like inspiration doesn't come from reading about lesser efforts. It comes from, hearing about stuff that would stretch you and is beyond your own comprehension. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, everybody's going to be very, very excited as this news drops. We're going to release it at the same time as it's being announced on all the social channels. So that's it. Happy New Year, my friend. Thanks for jumping back on. And we'll be seeing you February 17th to the 19th online.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So hope to see you all there. And thanks for listening, and thanks for hosting, of course.
Thanks, buddy. Talk to you soon.